Hello again, this is part 2 of the Mark III XL version assembly instructions, okay? And last video we finished the rear chassis, okay? And we're going to continue with the front part of the tractor. Here we have front chassis. It's really important that you screw this like right now, okay? Because if you don't do it at this point, you're going to have problems because this is not going to be accessible when everything is assembled. So please don't forget to add this now, okay? We have this here. As for the front bridge of the tractor, bear in mind that this goes like this, that's front and back. I have already assembled this part, so I'm going to assemble now this part, this left and right. So right part, 10 millimeters long M3 screw, a couple of them. Okay, that's one part. I forgot to mention that you have to use, I think it's, let's see, that's like 16 millimeters long, but that's okay. You can use 18 or something like that, 16, 18, that's okay. 4 screws here, like this, exactly like this. Okay, you can see here. Now, it's really important that this has just one position. As you can see here, it's not the same, so it's slightly different, and this has to go like that, okay? First, we're going to just insert this, okay? This is the front axle, then like that, and then we're going to align this part, and as you can see here, okay, now that we have that, we can use 10-12 millimeter long screw here. It's going to go directly to the brass part. Okay, now we have inserted this. I used 10 millimeters long. Now we're going to use 10 or 12 millimeters long. I think 12 is better here. Okay, this has to turn freely, so don't tighten the screws too much. Okay. This part. Now, this is part of the front bridge. Okay. This goes here. Now, we can use another 10 millimeters here. This goes directly to the plastic. Now it's okay to keep it in place. Okay, so now we insert 2 nuts here, and here we need M3 14 millimeters. Okay, we're going to insert here also an M3 nut, but in this case with a nylon insert. Okay, so it's a lock nut. With this piece, we're going to insert 2 nuts here, and then use 12 millimeters long. Then it's also okay. Okay. Now, from bridge, don't tighten that too much. Okay, from bridge assemble. Now, motor panels. Okay, I have already assembled some of the things here. I used electric cable here and some screws in these sleeves to make it look like some of the, you know, the pedals. Okay, and all the details. So we need two screws here. Sorry, two nuts here. And we need 30 millimeters long. In this case, here. Okay, this goes this. Okay, now that we have one part, we don't continue with the next one because first we go and assemble the servo. Okay, I ran out of gray filaments, so I used the one that I had mounted on the printer. So I'm using this 30 kilos servo. Okay, I'm using the metal arm, and this is plastic printed. Yeah, this is just a part, 3D printed. You have to use different screws here and here to secure the arm to this part. Okay, now this goes like this. And we are going to use like 10 millimeters long. Now that we have, remember, we need this and this, one side of the motor, doesn't matter one or the other, servo, and then we can add the other part of the motor. Now that we have these two sides, we can continue with these two. We set M3 10 millimeters long. Again, in this part I used electric silicone cable, okay, and I forgot, but just, you know, this is just like a toolbox, and I used 2mm screws here just to secure this box, okay. Now let's go with these side parts that connect to the bridge. I'm using 60mm. And here and we need 35mm long, in this case countersunk, as you can see here. Okay. I assemble this and this. Now let's go with the steering connectors. Here I used M3 threaded rod, 100mm long, okay, and 4 of these caps, and this goes like this. Again, 60mm. Yeah, I forgot, this is just a 3D printed part. Just aesthetic, okay? Doesn't have any function, but I think it looks better like this. So let's go with the other side. Okay, I think this is gonna work, okay. Perfect. Of course, you can adjust this distance if you feel that they are not aligned. Okay, so we're almost there. Now, this part, you know, is just, you know, assemble some. We have the seat, we're using countersunk screws, we have the steering wheel, we have that lever. I use a screw here, and these are just some screws and 3. That's like okay. This part is like a suspension for the seat, like the original. The crank. Okay, I think more or less you get the idea here. The console, counter screws here, countersunk. So we can, if you want, you can already assemble this, or yeah, maybe once you have all of this part, maybe it's better to leave it for later, because then it's going to be easier to just connect rear, okay, and front chassis. Let's get these cables out of the way. we're going to start 18 millimeters I think will do. Yeah, or even 16. That's okay. Be careful not to, be careful with the cables. Now, I'm going to use one on each side to keep it in place. We can continue with two more here on this side. Okay, this side is done. Now as for this side, the right side, we're going to need to add this part that is going to hold the exhaust, okay? Now, two nuts here. Now, I'm using a slightly longer, 18 millimeters. Okay. Once we are here, if you want, we can use this that we have just installed and insert the part here. I'm using a 2 millimeters M2 screw here. Okay, looking really good. As you can see, in this version we have a lot of space inside the tractor, so battery, ESC, it's not going to be a problem to fit them all there. It's quite heavy. Now, just this part, remember, I talked about it just a few minutes ago. We're going to insert it here, and we're going to use here like a really long screw. This is 80 millimeters. Okay, because as in the other version, this is going to go up and down, just so you can access everything. Is accessible and pretty easy. Okay, it's perfect. Now the hood, okay, I use 4 M3 6 millimeters long screws here, okay, and I'm using 60 millimeters long here on the sides. Okay, now looking good. We're going to insert M3 lock nut here, M3 lock nut here, okay, and we're going to install the hood. I think you can see this with an M3 60 millimeters long. Oh, sorry. I forgot this both of these. So that's okay, we can use, this is 12 millimeters long. Remember, insert a nut here and then secure the motor with the last. That's okay, it was gonna work without that, but it's better if we, that's 12 millimeters, and again. Now I hope I didn't forget anything. Let's, okay. Don't tighten that too much because it has to turn, just to move. That's perfect, okay? So we can open everything. It's that big that it gets out of the camera. So first close this, then this is going to snap right in. That's, maybe it's not going to go out, okay? And now we have to push both sides of the motor, and then it opens. We have to push here, you can see, just to make this movement, and then it opens, okay? It needs a little bit of practice, but it works okay. Looking really good, almost there. So now, next step would be fenders, okay? We're going to need these parts. This is a bit tricky, but with some practice it gets better. So one of these parts here, we're going to use another part here. Now the difficult bit is to keep this in place without these nuts going out, but you just put it like this. And then okay, it was a bit tricky. Don't over tighten this too much. That's completely secured. One to go. Okay. I forgot to mention, but it's quite easy. I just installed this license plate, okay, here with some screws. That's like really easy. Now, last step, tires. Let's start with this. Remember, this option is with the plastic, okay? You just have to align it and use this nut. This is countersunk and it's, let me check, 22 millimeters long, okay? And if you remember, we inserted an M3 nut inside the axle, so this is going to go not to the plastic but directly to the M3 nut. So it's going to be much more robust, okay? And as for the other side, remember I used different axles just to try the difference. So now we insert this wheel and we're using this slightly different nut, okay? Okay, because this brass axle has a M4. M4 screw. Okay, so for the brass option, we have M4. Perfect, okay. Now, front tires, I'm using same rear bearings from the normal Mark III. So, one outside, one inside. And then front nut here. Perfect. And that's perfect. Okay, so this is assembled. I think I'm just gonna cut the assembly video there, and then I'll come back to you with the electronics video in which I will show you how to connect everything. But I think it looks pretty awesome. It's huge and I think it's going to ride really, really good. I like the new rear with more details, and yeah, I'm really happy with the result. Hope that you liked it, and see you on the next video for the electronics and connections. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.